Okay, so today's one's about so there's like a lot of YouTubers that say about how MMA with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu suck for self-defense. A lot of people, you watch the videos, you have a look at the comments, and like loads of people sort of like agree with it. But I can tell you now, if someone confronted, either say, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist who's good as a good striker on the street, or an MMA fighter, or a UFC fighter, one of them on the street, and their reaction was, okay, let's go then. Okay. Like, I could almost bet any money on it. They'd just get their asses kicked, okay? But I think what these people should do, I get it to a certain extent, okay, because on the street it's like 90% mindset and 10% skill, okay? That doesn't come from me, that comes from like Jeff Thompson and all the experts in this field. So I get that. So like, say for example, you've got an MMA fighter who's never had a fight in his life, hasn't experienced confrontation, adrenaline dumps and things like that, and then someone surprises them on the street and they sort of not capitulate, but they get their fear takes over them. I sort of get that. But in the context of, say match fighting, let's just call it match fighting, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grappling, it beats like anything else except for, MMA, but that's mixed martial arts, okay? Because grappling's a bit more effective than striking. So let's say you've got, well, it tends to be anyway, like Jeff Thompson spends a lot of time training boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is like sort of wins like all match fights in his opinion. But say for example, you've got someone on the street who wants to confront an MMA fighter who's good at grappling and striking. They just don't stand a chance. Those are the best sports you can train to make the biggest, to succeed the most in that sort of situation. But if you want to sort of train, like the mindset of things and how fights take place and what tends to happen, understand the mindset of violent situations, they don't call them sports, but the self-protection, I call them sports that you want to train are sort of like Cali, urban combatives, real combative systems, just things like that. My favourite is urban combatives, with Krav Maga, they do this, well, certain Krav Maga coaches do like a 16-week course, and in that you'll learn all about the psychology of violence, weapon protection, and you learn all grappling, wrestling, all the basics: grappling, wrestling, striking, and then the 16-week course is pretty good. It does cover like pretty much everything, like sort of what happens on the street, you know, preemption, how to talk people down, and just everything sort of what tends to happen on the street. Whereas like great arts like boxing, Muay Thai, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, just kickboxing in general, wrestling, they're good for, as long as you're sort of good at striking, grappling, wrestling. They're brilliant for, say for example, someone goes up to someone and wants to fight, okay, and you fight them. They're the best training for that. But for other stuff like say work on the doors, the best training for that would be like Krav Maga, Kali, real combative systems, force necessary, urban combatives, that's my favourite, as well as the real combative systems. So the real combative systems is run by Jeff Thompson, and he's like probably, in my opinion, the best in the industry for that. He's got an 8th degree black belt in Shotokan karate. He's got a black belt in pretty much every martial art there is. So he knows the martial world very well. And he worked on the doors in like the roughest nightclubs in Europe. And he's been in thousands of fights. And he teaches like the real combative systems. And then you've got like urban combatives, that's run by Lee Morrison. And Lee Morrison's one of his mentors is Jeff Thompson. So those two. So like if you can study something like that, train something like that, as well as like let's say you've got an MMA fighter who's good at BJJ, you know, striking, he's all rounded, versus a Krav Maga specialist or someone in that sort of field, and they have a match fight, the MMA fighter's just going to kick their ass, okay? But if, for example, they were like working on the doors, and the MMA fighter doesn't have any experience, like hasn't had fights out on the street and hasn't, you know, the self-protection specialist is a hell of a lot more likely going to do a much better job. That makes sense. But if you learn both, it'll be like fish in water, you know. Bruce Lee says, like water. Like, well, you'd be spot on. But yeah, it's just a video on like you get these YouTubers talk about how MMA's like crap for self-defense, but like that's total BS. Okay, just don't take any notice of that. You know, just train martial arts, enjoy your training, don't ever give up on it, okay, because it is good self-defense, okay. It will help you out on the street, but like 90% of it is mindset, having your head right, and then it's 10% skill, okay? And you know, you've got to know preemption and pre-threat behaviour, awareness, things like that. So these self-protection, I don't know what to call them, but sport, they don't call it, they say they're not a sport, but I just call them a sport, okay? So I'm not going to call them if I call them a sport, it's not because I think they're a sport, I just, you know, I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, these self-protection sports, you know, they're really good. But yeah, just a video on that today, really, guys. Don't listen to those idiots who talk about, oh, that won't, you know, teach you self-defense or anything like that. It's a waste of time. Do not take any notice of them, okay? They're just talking out of their backsides. MMA fighter would kick all their asses, no problem. They don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, just sort of put that out there. If you like the video, put a thumbs up. If you don't, put a thumbs down, you know, if you disagree with me. And subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification if you want to be notified of future videos. Leave a comment, and if you want me to do any videos around any topics, leave that in the comments section. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Love you all.